Hello guys, and today I'll be going over my own VODs. This is going to be in Master 0 to 200 LP, and let's go ahead and take a look at it. I'm versus Yi here, and so just from champion select, I know that I can put either lane, strong side, or weak side. Mainly considering, you know, I have the Recon W plus Talia set up, and I also have Tryndamere with Ignite. So when you have two lanes that have essentially kill potential, then it's very easy to just set up a set that lane up for like a strong side. Okay. So here I'm just typing to my team. I don't know what I'm saying, but essentially, because we have Recon W plus Talia knockup, we can play strong side bottom, or we can play strong side top. So in this lane, what I choose to do, or in this route, what I choose to do is, I know that Yi started bottom side because we see that nobody is there yet, right? So now, what I'm gonna do now is, I'm gonna spam ping that Yi's there, let my teammates know, and now I know he's gonna path from bottom to top lane, which means that I can do one of two things, right? I can do one of two things. So I can go like this, where I do 1, 2, 3, where I end up just transitioning topside. Because I have priority, I don't think that Yi can invade me because my Tryndamere can move down. I could also choose to do something like red, Raptors, Gromp, and then I can go top lane. The problem in this matchup is that I have a Kassadin on my team, right? And essentially what Kassadin doesn't allow you to do is it allows you to invade, because Victor will always have first move every fight I take in topside. So the only time I can really invade you in this matchup is if this guy is like hard crashing the wave, or if Fiora is in base or something, because then I have to expect a 2v2. I personally don't like playing with Kassadin, and I know a lot of junglers don't actually like that either. But unfortunately his Victor got taken, so he just locked in Kassadin and whatever, right? So here I'm not looking to invade because I always know that their mid laner has first move, and if I do end up invading somewhere here, Fiora can still move down by a tri-bush. And so I have to be very careful, okay? So here I plan on doing a high tempo clear, mainly because I see how fast my Tryndamere is playing up in topside. I ping it, as you can see, I ping Raptors in red, letting them know that the enemy team is up there. And now I can see that the crash ended up happening, right? So we know that the crash happens topside, and at this point, as the crash is happening, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna gank top, right? Because it's pointless. Mid lane gank is hard to do with Kassadin at level 2, so at this point I'm just going to take my blue buff and I'm going to reverse clear straight down and then take a recall. Then what I'm going to do after is I'm going to reset, and then I'm going to go straight to my Raptors, because that's when the next camp's spawning. So here I actually notice that the wave is bouncing back, and my Tryndamere is slowly letting the wave push into him. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's an opportunity up here potentially. So I'm going to go up here, take a look. At this point the game timer is 3:12, and right now we only have one camp available. We know that this is up. I know that Yi wants to play for this. Now the reason I think that Yi wants to play for this is because he has move on Victor. So mid lane has first move. So here I'm spam pinging that I want to go into the crab here, and I want to take a fight against Yi, because Rek'Sai plus Tryndamere can actually win pretty hard against Yi, and Victor shouldn't be able to do anything. I end up canceling an auto here, which is fine. Now at this point, when I know that crab is gone, or crab is mine, I know that enemy jungle is down here, which means that now he's going to take the crab. Now he's either going to do Gromp and he's going to path straight back up, or he's going to recall and he's going to do Gromp. Unfortunately, I don't think that he'll have enough time to take a recall and then run straight down to Gromp, so he might just have to immediately go back to his Gromp after crab and then just start clearing up. I'm not entirely sure which one he does, and I don't know if he has if he doesn't have time to like take a reset and then run to Gromp, then, you know, he'll be off tempo, because if he resets and all of these camps spawn, he'll be behind, right? Which obviously isn't good for him. I don't think it's the worst if he does lose like 5 to 10 seconds. It's not terrible. But if you are going to lose time and you don't want to give up those 5 to 10 seconds, you can then just take this camp and then just clear straight from bottom to top without actually having a reset, and then reset after you finish your second rotation full clear. So at this point, because I know that he's probably bot side crab, and he has move in bottom and he has first move in mid lane as well, I know that I can't really contest him in the bottom side jungle, so I'm never going to look for a double crab. Here I see this next wave blocking with this one, so I know that I can just come in for a gank. I also know that she hasn't warded yet, because if she did, she would have walked out of vision. Here, very crucial that we hold our E for Fiora riposte. Right, so Fiora ends up riposting, and E comes out, and then Tryndamere finishes off with an auto. And now immediately here, I know where Yi should be. Right, he should be over here. The game timer is about 3:46. His bot side camps are going to spawn at around 4:20 to 4:30, right? And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a recall. I know that my top side camps are going to spawn at 4:15, 4:30, which is going to be, or my bot side camp, sorry, my Raptors specifically. This is level 1. I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to path straight back from bottom back to top side. And now this is like, oh, I actually forgot this happened. So here, my mid laner has a frozen wave. So notice this, right? Now, this is like a bit of a, this is very interesting. This is very important for junglers to start to understand. So right now, Tryndamere has control of the lane. Okay, he just killed Fiora. She's gonna TP back. If he, I don't know. He doesn't. Okay, technically he doesn't have control of the lane. So let me rephrase that. If he can get the crash off in time and Fiora TPs and then he returns with an item advantage, yeah, he has control of the lane. Now what's happening here, and I'm gonna tell you why that's relevant in a second. What's happening here is that this guy's wave is frozen because you have to look at the proximity of the next incoming wave, which means that now if I go into my Raptors and I let this guy just fend for himself, he will die because Yi will come in from the top side angle and try to kill him, from the bottom side angle and try to kill him. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to hover mid lane, get the crash off, and now because if this guy has, again, we're talking about top lane control, if Tryndamere has control up in top lane, he'll be able to actually move down with me and then help me contest Yi's Raptors. Okay, this is the same time when Kassadin should be taking a TP back, and so should Victor, which means that the lane should be even state, and perhaps I can play for his Raptors. And again, if I can't do that, then what I would do is I would just crash the wave. I would go back into my Raptors, and then instead of clearing down my golems, you actually want to clear upwards, not downwards, because if you clear downwards, you're clearing for a level 1 camp, which is useless. You need to instead clear for your respawns, which are going to be topside. And this is going to also align me with the gank in top lane or the match gank, because we know exactly where Yi's going to spawn, because Yi's right now bottom side, as you can see by my pings, and will now eventually path up to the top side. Okay. So here I'm begging, again, I mean, my mid laner is like 400 LP, right? So I'm pretty confident he's not going to int it, but here I am begging him to just wait for me. I'm telling him, hey, please wait, I'm coming, don't die, just wait. Because I need to make sure that I can help get the crash off. Now here, supports, if you see this shit happening, please, 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 if your ADC is fine, please rotate mid lane. I was really sad when my Rakan didn't take a rotation here, because here Rakan needs to just rotate with me. And like if Yi shows up and Kassadin shows up and I show up, we're still losing this, right? So I would like Rakan to show up because we know where their support is. And I know that their support has to make sure the crash in bot lane has to happen, which means that Rakan, because the wave is pushing in and Talia has a very like safe lane phase which you can just consistently wave clear and not really get dove into Ezreal Trundle that easily, especially with summoners. Rakan should just take a roam here and help me, right? Unfortunately he didn't, and I was really nervous about this play because my support isn't here, so it's like, okay, awkward. Unfortunately for us, or fortunately for us, and unfortunately for Victor, is he let the cannon, the cannon ran into the tower. So Victor messed up here. He let this cannon hit the tower. So once this cannon hits the tower, or once this tower hits the cannon, essentially, this is no longer a freeze anymore. This is still a lock in the lane that sucks. It's still really disadvantageous for my Kassadin, but if Kassadin just issues a recall here, this minion has to die, and Victor can't really freeze on 3 casters given his HP value. Now, because Victor knows that Kassadin is coming out of a recall, potentially, Victor might just be inclined to just crash the entire wave into him, right? So at this point, I'm like, oh, you're literally chilling. Here, I'm looking for Yi, but I realize that my Kassadin wants to take a recall, so I said, oh, wait a minute, I'm kind of trolling if I invade here. That's why, you know, because his mid has first move, and it's just better to go top here because Fiora is pushing in and she's not warding at all. This obviously is Fiora just trolling, but as you can see, while this is happening, both my pings are coming off, constantly tracking enemy jungle. Fiora actually mind game here a little. She ended up making me E and then flashed away, which I don't mind because I make her lose her flash, and that's good enough. I don't really know why I kept chasing. This is a mistake by me. And now here, I'm just going to take Romp. Yi's pathing up. I want to make sure this guy gets to crash off in time, which he can do so by himself. I don't want to share XP with him, because I know that he's full HP. Now, if he was level 5 and he's like 20% HP, then yeah, I have to help him crash because Yi will just kill him. But because he's full HP, Yi doesn't actually want to come up there. I'm just going to clear down, and I'm just going to take my entire jungle. At this point, I know that Yi should be finishing his top side very soon, as you can see based on the pings. And he's going to start moving down very soon for his next respawn on Gromp Camp, which means that if this wave ends up blocking, I'll be here to counter it. Now Yi, unfortunately, I ended up tracking him a little bit late here, because these pings that I'm putting out, although they're theoretically correct, they're actually late. Yi's actually not even here. He's actually pathing down already. So my pings, in fact, should have been looking something like this, straight down, right? But because I know that Yi's going to be bot side anyway, and my game plan is to play against the bot wave state, or play on the bot wave state, I know that I can just come down. Now here, because I was really slow, because I thought he was still on golems, I didn't think that he would immediately show up. This was my fault. This was my mistake. I should have actually just been hovering, and then been able to be here. Now, this is, of course, possible if there's more blues than reds. Now, if there's more reds than blues, then it doesn't make sense to hover. Then it's just better to take golems, because for Yi to come down is illogical, because my bot lane can just play over here instead of moving deep inside of the lane, because the wave is just pushing into them, okay? Regardless, this wave, the play ends up happening. My Rakan flashes, and here I'm trying to play for now here, very like subtle, right? I'm trying to have Talia lock the wave, right? So here I'm trying to have Talia take these minions, lock them here with this next wave, so that I can E over and I can try to attack the Ezreal here. Alright, so here I'm looking for something, but this is more of like me flipping the game really, because I need Ezreal to int for this really ever to work, to be honest. So this is actually pretty... Oh, actually, no, I'm not inting. I'm actually good here. Never mind. Oh, okay, I know what I was thinking here now. Yeah, so the reason I'm making this play is because I see Kassadin coming down. My mistake. I actually didn't even see the minimap in the VOD. But here, I see Kassadin coming down, so this isn't a mistake. The one mistake I've made this game is not reading that Yi is going to be bot lane immediately. Now here, I know that Kassadin is coming down, so I'm going to go for an E, and I'm going to look for this guy immediately, right? And if we can kill their Ezreal, it's going to be quite good. Now, I can't kill Ezreal, but you can see me just spam pinging Ezreal and telling my Kassadin to try to fight him. Unfortunately, Trundle stays. I'm not gonna, you know, whatever. Now here I go crab, and the reason I go crab is because my golems are level 1, I believe, and I don't want to actually clear them. Yep, this is obviously an error. This doesn't give me any value. This is me griefing the game. I show my champion for no reason. The wave is fine. I was trying to look for a Q into R, which was really flipped, to be honest. And now I'm wasting time. So what I should have just done is after crab, I should just go into red buff, and then I should just, like, you know, just chill out. Because Victor can't actually play the lane right now, considering the wave state. Now here, we see that Yi shows up, right? And the reason Yi shows up from the south side of the map, from the bottom side of the map, because of two reasons, right? The first reason is he needs to get this wave into the tower. The second reason, this is not really a reason, but the second process is he's going to end up going straight to top side. So I know his next clear out for a little while longer, and I know that he's going to try to crash this wave. So here I see my Rakan moving, and Rakan's going to show up, Kassadin is here, and then I'm also here. So what we're doing here is we're playing for the mid lane wave state. We want to retain this wave state for Kassadin so that he can try to make Victor's life as hard as possible. Now, what I know is going to be happening... Now, this might actually look like a good play, right? Because we have enemies, we have our support coming in, our Kassadin is here, and I'm also coming in. But the reality is we also have to assume that Trundle is somewhere back here, because we see Fiora, right? And it's too obvious that a support should actually... This is a very important support timing. And this is kind of goes back to when I told you guys like Rakan should have moved into mid lane when Kassadin's wave was frozen. It's kind of the same thing here, where like now Victor's wave is like frozen in Kassadin's favor, and so now you know, enemy Trundle has to come in and try to assist, right? So here I'm expecting a 3v3, and so I'm very hesitant on this play. As you can see, I see the passive. I see Trundle's location with my passive. I could have gone here, but I mean, I don't know, I was a little bit scared, so I just said nah. Now here, I want to play for the red buff, right? Because what is happening here? We know his top side is up. We know we have complete control and authority up in top lane. I have Rakan with me, and Talia's lane, although is pushing in, she doesn't really care because Trundle's here, and she can still crash this next incoming wave to the point where she can't get frozen on, right? Very self-sustaining like pick and bottom lane. So now at this point, I can just path to top. Yi realizes, because again, we also have to assume that the enemy jungle knows what they're doing too. Yi's actually, he's like 200 points or something on the ladder, I don't know. So he should be aware, at least it's minimum expectations that someone at that level should at least know that Rek'Sai is here and Rakan's moving. So I know that Yi will just forfeit his top side to me. I also know that this means that I can just gank Fiora if she pushes up, or if this next wave ends up blocking. So what I'm looking for here, essentially, is I want to make sure Fiora doesn't crash this wave before this next wave ends up blocking here. So it's the same concept of, like, you know, when to gank. As you can see, the wave locks slightly, Fiora tries to walk up, and here we just go ahead and fight. I try to give the kill to my Trendemir, but he is not able to get it, so I just go ahead and take it, and now here I'm just going to go for my red. And essentially what we're doing now is we're going to spam ping enemy jungle location, which is bottom side, and now after this I'm going to proceed to go ahead and take his top side jungle. As you can see, red gets taken, Vlad shows up, or not Vlad, but Victor shows up. I kind of grief it here. I end up wasting some time. I should just be farming. I thought he would come and walk into me and I could just kill him. We don't talk about what I just did, but anyways, yeah. So now we're fighting, and then they die here, and then I ult, and then we get the second kill. Anyways, at this point the game is over. So I mean, I proceed to win the game because the game, they can't win at this point. But yeah, so this is essentially the things I'm thinking about during the early game, like my early game routes, right? And so now what I'm thinking about is I'm going to consistently, you know, if I have lane control, I can attack Yi's jungle through either of the lanes that I have. Like if I have top control, mid control, I can just go straight like this into his jungle. Obviously we're aware of, you know, tracking him and all that stuff. Dragons at this point are very free because he can't respond, and all we're looking to do is just take Herald and then just break open towers and then take the next Herald and then get another pick and then look for Nash and then just split and end the game essentially, right? Which is what we do. But really, in order to get to this point, and I keep stressing this over and over again, you guys have to start thinking about refining your early game. You must refine your early game in order to get to a point where you can just easily, you know, win the game and just 1v9 and, you know, not have any issues. But anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.